Welcome back to my channel, pranksters. Of course, you guys know that here I show you how to pull off all kinds of pranks and booby traps on friends and family. And in this video, I will be showing you guys how to set up 5 mean and extremely messy pranks at home. But before we begin, let's make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel with all the notifications turned on. That way you guys don't miss out on my upcoming videos. With all that being said, guys, let's get pranking. This first prank I did about a year ago using a regular can of Pringles like the one you see right here. For this prank you will also be needing baking soda, vinegar, and a plastic cup. If you notice, my can of Pringles is brand new, never opened before. Now to get started, this can must be completely empty, so enjoy eating those yummy chips before you set up your victims with this messy prank. Once the can is empty, try to put the cup inside. If it's too big like mine, then you might need to trim it up a bit, like I'm doing so right here. Now it's the perfect size that will go inside the can of Pringles. Next, we need a cardboard cutout that we can use to cover up the top of the cup. So draw an outline and start cutting it out. Take the lid and place it on a table or counter where you know your victims usually get their chips. Put a piece of double-sided tape on the center. Over it, you will position the cup. Center it as much as you can. Time to fill it up with vinegar. You guys don't have to fill it up all the way to the top, but try to get plenty of vinegar in there. Using a spoon, start adding baking soda around the cup, right on the lid. Don't worry about making a mess, you will wipe it down once you have the prank set up. Now let's put to use our cardboard cutout. So place it over the cup, and on top of it, we are gonna be adding more baking soda. At this point, it should look like this: vinegar inside the cup and baking soda around it and on top of the cup. Our last step is to put the can of Pringles over the cup, so it would basically cover it completely. Make sure it snaps into place with the lid. It should look as though someone left the can upside down, which you know happens at times, so no one will suspect a thing until it's too late. When your victims get hungry and want some chips, they will flip over the can, and this is what will happen. Here's another demo, pranksters. No matter how it happens, the results will be the same. A big mess will be created and your victims will have to clean it up. You can definitely get a big laugh out of this, and it's the perfect way to get payback on someone. Let's get started with another messy prank. This prank also includes the awesome effects of baking soda and vinegar. Again, we are going to be using the items I just mentioned, as well as a styrofoam cup, a balloon, a needle, some grease such as Vaseline, and some food coloring. We're going to start by filling up the balloon with some vinegar. It might get tricky, but this is how you do it. You open up the bottle of vinegar, wrap the balloon around the top of the bottle. At this point is where your muscles and strength come into play. Position the bottle of vinegar on the edge of a counter or table just like this. Then start pressing on the middle to squeeze as much vinegar as possible into the balloon. Make sure you are holding on to the tip of the balloon at all times to avoid any messes. Once you have plenty of vinegar in the balloon, you will detach it from the bottle and tie it with a couple of knots. Then you will need to cut off the end of the balloon. Let's set the balloon aside and start working on the cup. Inside, we are gonna add some baking soda. About 3 spoonfuls works for me. Open up the grease bottle and start applying some on the balloon edges. Make sure you have plenty of grease on the balloon, and once it's ready, put the balloon inside the cup. The grease will keep any liquids from getting to the bottom of the cup, which is where the baking soda is at, so there will be no leaks until the balloon pops. Since I still have plenty of room on the cup, I will be pouring some vinegar into it. To help hide the balloon from being spotted, food coloring will be used. Try to match the color of the balloon you are using. Since you can clearly see the balloon still, I'll be putting some ice on top. This will make it less suspicious and looks more like a regular cup of Kool-Aid with ice. To execute this prank, we're gonna lift up the cup and through the bottom pierce the cup with a needle. About halfway up works. Make sure it's not fully inserted to the point where it pops the balloon. To play this off, hand over the cup to your victim with your hand covering the needle because it will be sticking out halfway. Tell them to take the cup and place it on another table. You can lie and tell them it's for your mom. When they do that and set the cup on the counter, this is what will happen. The results are almost instant. Your victims won't know what to do, except that it's a big mess that they will have to clean up. I highly recommend you do this on someone you just don't like. What I like about this next prank is that you guys can turn a nice gesture for a significant other into a mean prank. That's right guys, we're gonna cross certain lines with this one. You will be needing a big teddy bear like this one. Take a blade and make an incision right along the stitching on the side of the bear, just like I'm doing so right here. Once you have a big enough opening, start gutting it out. Take out as much cotton as possible because we are gonna be putting a large bowl inside. Once you can fit the bowl in, start filling it with as much water as possible. Of course, it doesn't necessarily have to be water, you guys can fill it up with any liquid of your choice, so get creative. To close up the opening, you guys can stitch it back up, but I'm gonna go an easier route and just use safety pins. Works just as well. Now that the bear is ready, position it somewhere where you know your significant other will find it. This is a great Valentine's Day prank because along with the bear, you'll need to leave some chocolate boxes in a card to play it off. Also, make sure you leave a note that says to lift up the bear for a special surprise. And when they do that, this will happen. Yes, it's a shower that they did not expect. I believe that if you're a true prankster, no one should be off limits, not even that person you are going out with. Don't forget to give this video a big like for the teddy bear. This is what happens when you drop a Mentos into a bottle of Diet Coke. Yes, it's quite messy, so we're gonna be using this effect to set up a prank. Let's begin by setting up the Mentos. Take a needle with thread and pierce the Mentos. Make sure that there's a knot at the end of the thread so the Mentos doesn't slide out. It should be able to hang like this. Now let's prep the bottle of Diet Coke. You will need some string for this. Attach one end of the string to the bottom of the bottle using a piece of tape. The other end we are gonna tie to a push pin and we will eventually attach it to a wall. But before we do that, we are gonna put the Mentos inside the bottle of Diet Coke. Just unscrew the cap and let the Mentos hang from the top. While holding it, twist the cap on to keep the Mentos in place. Make sure it's sealed shut. Don't forget to cut off the piece of thread that sticks out. Now it's time to attach the push pin that's tied to the string onto a wall. With another push pin, pierce the top of the cap. Make a few not so noticeable holes on it. Push the bottle back so it covers the string. It's important that your victims don't spot the string beforehand. To play this off more natural, I'm gonna put more bottles of Diet Coke next to it, but notice that they are linked together. That's good because when your victim comes over, of course he or she's gonna grab the loose soda bottle. When they do that, the string is gonna pull back the bottle, causing them to drop it, and in the process activate the Mentos and Diet Coke chemical reaction. It will look something like this. Yes, it's a super messy booby trap, so prank at your own risk. This last one is an epic toilet prank. Yes, it's one of the best booby traps you can possibly set up in a bathroom. Just like you just saw, it will catch your victims when they are at their most vulnerable. So here is what you will need to set this up. A can of silly string, a push pin, floss, tape, and a roll of toilet paper. Let's begin by getting a big piece of tape. Let's keep that handy, so I'm gonna place it on the edge of the counter. Open up the can of silly string, and if you look closely on the nozzle, the hole is small enough that you can jam it with a push pin. So that's what we're gonna do. Push it all the way inside the nozzle. Now, if we press on the nozzle, nothing will come out because the push pin is jamming it. Take the big piece of tape and place it over the nozzle while pressing down. Attach the tape to the side of the can. We will also be tying a piece of floss to the push pin. This is where we're gonna tape the can onto the toilet, guys, right on the center of the tank. So use plenty of tape to attach it on there. As far as the piece of floss hanging from the push pin, we are gonna tape it to the lid of the toilet. What I like about the lid is that not only will it block the can of silly string from being visible, but also it will set off this prank. We will need the help of toilet paper for that though. Unroll it just a bit and tape it to the lid just like you did with the piece of floss. Just leave it where it's at and the prank is ready to be executed. For whatever reason, when your victim comes to the bathroom and grabs the toilet paper, this is what's gonna happen. They will instantly get a big stream of silly string in their direction. It's funny not only because it will startle them, but will also cover them with that messy silly string. And those were 5 mean and messy pranks you guys can pull off on friends and family. If you like what you just saw, please support this channel by subscribing and turning on the notifications. Thanks for stopping by and checking out this video, pranksters. I hope you continue coming back. Alright pranksters, if you guys want to watch more pranks like the ones I just showed you, click up here. And if you guys are interested in learning new life hacks, click up here. You can't go wrong with either one of them.